For you going into this, were there stories that you wanted James to tell that you couldn't get to, or that you just didn't have time with so much going on? This is a packed movie. There's a lot going on. Was there anything that you really wanted to tell in your when you made the transition to film?
I was on the set, you know, and I didn't really have any corrections or changes. I don't remember even him ask. No,
I think that in a big part is due to the writers, the Hayes brothers, just really doing their homework and doing a lot of research. When they started writing the script, they were on the phone every day with Lorraine, and
They were.
you know, just picking her brains, and and just basically trying to get to know who she is. And I think that is very important in bringing across the authenticity of the world that Lorraine lives in, and I think that comes across in the film.
I appreciate the fact that you kind of went the more old school route with this, and it's not CGI heavy. It's was that always kind of the idea?
Yeah, because it's not a creature feature. It's not about that. It's a movie about atmosphere, vibe, mood, and stuff like that. And you create a lot of mood just from your photography, from your sound design, and your production design as well. And I only bring in CGI when I need to, because they're things that are very difficult to do today. But in the computer world, it's so much better. And if anything, it's a combination of practical effects with computer graphic effects. And that, I think, blended seamlessly in telling the story.
And for you, I've got to say, I would be terrified to revisit this story. I mean, you deal with this every day. How do you feel about kind of revisiting? Is it just old hat for you?
No, it's never. If you're dealing with something that's preternatural, it's not every day. No, and it is frightening. I mean, remember, the inhuman is very, very difficult to deal with, and it's so cunning, And but the human spirit, you can communicate, you can talk, you can help, but the inhuman.
Wow. And the doll, you still have the doll?
It's in an enclosed case in the museum, right in my home. But not, I shouldn't say my home, because it's adjacent to my home.
It seems like that's such a scary idea. You're keeping all these artifacts of these horrible things.
Well,
seems like terrifying.
Well, let me say about that. You can't throw them away. You can't give them away. And before my husband's death, he would say to me many times, "What are we going to do with all of this?" And there's no answer. And so about 3 or 4 years ago, this Catholic priest from Pennsylvania, I had worked with him on Paranormal State, a series.
Yeah.
And we got to be friends, and he retired, and he came to help after I had been hospitalized for a long time. And he was taking care of my pets. And so then he says, "When you get well, I'll go back." He's never gone back. And it's beautiful because he's always there. I have an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment, and he stays there, and it's wonderful. Oh. It's wonderful, and he blesses everything. And he'll say to me, "Lorraine, I'm going to go out in the museum and bless the doll." And I'll say, "Now, Father, remember, don't do it by saying her name. Don't do it." But I don't want to give any recognition. Even looking at that picture there, it gives her recognition. And but he's wonderful about it.
You really are fantastic in this role, and it seems like a really challenging role. I just spent 5 minutes with the real deal. You guys got to experience it and live quite through her eyes for a while. What was that like?
It's a real treat for us. She's extraordinary. She's so sweet. She's so full of love and compassion, and I loved being around her. And that was, for me, the key was just absorbing. There's so many interviews, there's so much information throughout the decades on her experience, and it's and also even the rapport between them. There's so many YouTube videos you can watch on how they related to each other and what their sense of humor together was, and who they were together. But for me, interesting meeting the 80-something-year-old Lorraine Warren while playing the 30-something-year-old version for her. And it's just, I love watching her. I could watch her forever. I went in and I snuck in and to sort of glimpse her interviews. She just puts a smile on her face. She's a beatific smile. It's just so full of love.
She makes you feel really good, right? Now, for you didn't have that luxury because he passed away. But what did you learn by going back and finding his history and throughout her?
Well, luckily, there's not only a lot of pictures, a lot of archival tapes that they gave me to listen to, or to sort of hear his speech pattern and how he spoke, and he spoke with such determination and strength, and that helped just on the outside. And then in talking to Lorraine and talking to Tony, her son-in-law, what I'm always interested in if I play someone who's handling something very deep and dark is like, what was their light side, and he was very charming and funny. So, little moments of humor that you could sort of put in there, and
I remember what we found fascinating as well in one of the scripted exorcisms that he was a part of, where he's actually talking back to the demons.
Yeah.
with real.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Feisty, and and that.
Yeah, there's a real practicality, because he was a very blue collar guy.
Yeah.
It was very when he's literally talking to it, it's not some weird creepy voice. It's like, I see you, I know you're there, and I'm gonna and it was very
Calling
direct.
the demon by its name, and it's all scripted, so you're not listening to it.
Yeah.
Watching this as an audience member, obviously you can find skepticism in what you see. As actors, how important is it to believe what you're portraying?
I don't think that I need to believe. I think I need to believe the character, but I don't have to agree with it. Okay. Whatever the character believes, I don't have to believe, but I have to believe in her.
Yeah.
A true skeptic has to be skeptical about their own skepticism. You're not a true skeptic if you don't have the thought of well, maybe everything that I think is true, I could be wrong about that. And that's, I think, that's kind of the foundation of science and logical thinking, is if you're not willing to challenge Isaac Newton, you're never going to get to Einstein or Niels Bohr. You have to always be questioning it. And I think no matter what you think there's always a thing or a piece of information or somebody else's experience or a story that they've had. Then in the back of your head, one of the gifts of being a human being is you're able to challenge what you think you know and go, now what do I think?
Yeah, because I think everyone's had that moment where they're like, did I just see something out of the corner of my eye?
Yeah. How do I fit this into what I've built over the years to believe to be true? And as adults, I think we take we get a lot of solace and safety in the fact that we figured it all out. We have an answer for everything. We know it. We don't like it when that stuff challenges. Kids, I think, are a little more open to that because they're still sort of they're still learning it. But that's one of the reasons I think this stuff really freaks out. I think we're a little weirded out on set, a little more by things than the little girls even. They were sort of like, this is fun.
Again, you're playing a very, very challenging role. How do you take this on? How do you go into where she goes? I don't want to give it away, but she goes to some scary, scary places. How do you take that on as an actor?
Well, with respect and with care in a way, to plant my feet, ground myself. I think align myself with myself before I go in, so I can go in together with me, so that I have me when I get back out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. How was James Wan in leading you there?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'd have him lead me anywhere. I think James is so creative, and
Yeah,
great.
and he's creative, and he's also a collaborator, and that makes it even more enjoyable because everybody matters.
Yeah.
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 And apparently creepy set.
Creepy and beautiful at the
Okay.
same time. I mean, like the artistry that went into it in the design of this movie is phenomenal. So, you know, sometimes it's creepy just going like, how are these people this talented? You know?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting story. How often did you guys get to work with Lorraine and hear what she had to say and the real people?
I don't think it nearly as much as maybe Patrick and Vera. You know, I kind of wanted to come into this because our characters don't know what's going on. We're sort of surprised. We don't know we're in a horror movie.
Yeah.
We don't know we're gonna be. So I wanted to know as little as possible so that I could kind of be surprised by all the things and not go, oh, the door, that's the spirits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of a different thing.